I first met him as a candidate. It was 1999. And I think he was the first placement I made in the executive search business. I've had the pleasure of working with him as a teammate on 3 separate occasions in the 2000s and then the 2010s. He's been a client of mine for several years. And most importantly, he's become a great friend. This individual is absolutely one of the smartest people I know. He got his computer engineering degree, both his bachelor's and master's, at Syracuse University, and software development's always been the backbone of his career. He's worked in consulting, he's architected e-commerce solutions, he's built and led teams, he's a writer, he's an accomplished speaker, and over the past decade, he's been growing a platform focused on genomic analysis in the oncology space. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Ian Maurer, CTO of GenomOncology. Ian, thanks for being here.
Yeah, sure. So started off in computer programming with a Commodore 64. I got it because I thought I wanted to play video games, but I got bored with that pretty fast. And the cool thing about Commodore 64 is it actually has a basic interpreter right in there. So I actually would start writing my own games and doing things like that. And took computer science in high school, decided I wanted to be in computer engineering. At Syracuse, I was in the lab because they actually had labs for the computers because not everybody had a laptop at home. And in the lab, there was like a posting for a job and basically 10 or 15 hours a week at Lockheed Martin. I did an internship, got to learn some new technologies. I worked with C and this thing called SGML. My first rotation was with this same group that was doing online documentation for aircraft engines for GE, because it's an old subsidiary of GE. And during that time, I would learn how to parse HTML and do cross-linking between these documents and a lot of the similar stuff that I'm actually doing today with documentation in the genomic space. And while I was there, you have to do a rotation. So I did a rotation with the sonar department and I was almost done with that. And the guys, hey, you should stay here in the sonar department. Don't go back to that other department because nobody thinks that's cool. Like that department, the smart people don't go there. And I was like, but I don't really want to work with sonar ever again. And that other department was doing stuff that was very similar to web technology. This is the late 90s. The web is really becoming a thing. And I said, no, I'm going to go work in this other department, even though it's got lower status compared to these other departments, because I got to work on the hardest problems because I was really the only trained programmer there. So they would throw me the hardest problems. And so that one lesson to learn is look for hard problems. If you can find hard problems and solve them and be tenacious, that can definitely work in your favor.